pandemic has given the Education Department a heightened concern for gauging how students are performing and where they are in their learning. Many of the interim and formative assessment approaches the schools historically relied on seem impossible in the present situation. With the daunting challenges encountered by the shift of learning modality, DepEd Surigao del Sur forged toward a more innovative assessment design that would capture knowledge, skills, and attitudes to the realistic application in the real world. Theme-based authentic performance and assessment, branded as PAG-ASA or Performance Assessment Guide for Authentic Students' Achievement, is a way forward for making the new normal delivery of education quality and accessible to all. Grounded on the challenges encountered, strategies that would lessen the burden of the present situation were designed. The common challenges, which include poor internet connectivity, less home support to learning, lack of technical capabilities of learners, parents, and even educators, the level of teachers' preparedness, and the questions of how valid and reliable assessment given were some considerations in taking bold steps to mitigate learning gaps. The new normal compelled Surigao del Sur Division to mobilize innovative assessment designs to lessen the burden of teachers and the school children without compromising the learning goals. Through the partnership of Philippine Normal University and Surigao del Sur Division, PAG-ASA gives hope to teachers and learners by reducing the number of tasks without sacrificing the goals of learning. The use of theme-based authentic performance and assessment provided a realistic solution that minimizes the risk of wasting resources and maximizes learning outcomes. This is a way of assessing where learning areas are connected and integrated within a theme. This concept allows students to connect their learning and understanding to real-life learning experiences. This is in consonance to DepEd Order Number 31, the Interim Guidelines on Assessment, which stated that assessment must be integrative and collaborative. Supporting this policy is DepEd Memorandum Number 307, Series of 2020, the provision of academic ease, which provided strategies that assessment in schools must be interdisciplinary. This calls for teachers to collaboratively design performance tasks that integrate two or more competencies and learning areas. The concept of thematic assessment captured the different levels of cognitive process dimensions and learning taxonomy. When learners achieve these dimensions, holistic learning is attained, skills are assured, and competencies are mastered. The journey started in the first quarter where different steps and procedures are introduced, improved, and revised. Series of virtual and face-to-face meetings and pilot runs were conducted to see the doability and feasibility of the assessment method. The use of theme-based authentic performance and assessment provided a realistic solution that minimizes the risk of wasting resources and maximize learning outcomes. This way of assessing allowed students to connect their learning and understanding to real-life learning experiences and letting this learning flow naturally. Since thematic assessment provides wider boundaries of exploration where teachers can hardly predict, students can open wider scope of discovery on creating outputs that measure their learning.
Hashtag sa pag-asa, madayawang buwan. Several revisions have made. Different phases had underwent scrutiny until such time that we've come up into a perfect product. From its origin name, theme-based authentic performance and assessment, to its more interesting, more meaningful, and more identifiable new brand name, the PAG-ASA. As you can see, I am embraced with superb, unique, top-of-the-line, and sterling performance outputs of the students of the Lanuza Central Elementary School, which are really remarkable, not just to themselves, but also to the ever-supportive learning facilitators at home. These outputs give a great crash to us teachers of Lanuza Central Elementary School. Presenting to you all the PAG-ASA outputs of our learners. Come and see it in your own lens. Thank you so much.
Through thematic assessment, learners get to understand their unique strengths, explore multiple ways of learning, and use the skills that they have been acquiring through thematic methodology. This also provided a wide opportunity for the children to express themselves and help them build new skills and knowledge easily.
This whole theme-based authentic performance and assessment or TBAPA journey is really amazing. As part of the development team for the learners' materials and teachers' blueprint for the first quarter of the pilot testing and to the implementation period in the quarters 2 and 3, I found the task not easy but enjoyable and meaningful. We have carefully planned the learning experiences anchored on the learning competencies, and from there, we developed the thematic experiences and learning activities. This innovation is effective based from the results where the learners have submitted excellent outputs. We get the chance to see not only the creative side of the learners in terms of visual arts, but also how they were able to reflect and transfer the learning into the meaningful and authentic experience, how they were able to perform the realistic application of the lesson. And this is something big to us in the field of education because we do not only educate the minds of the learners, but also the hearts of the learners.
For teachers, using theme-based assessment lessens the multiple designs of performance tasks and output requirements to be checked because PAG-ASA promised to design one major output for all performance tasks in a quarter.
Lanuza District is truly grateful that Surigao del Sur Division came up with this initiative on working toward a more innovative and creative curriculum design that suits best to the needs of our learners in this new normal education. This PAG-ASA or Performance Assessment Guide for Authentic Students' Achievement really gave hope to the school administrators, teachers, parents, and most of all, to our learners to minimize wastage of learning resources and of course, maximize learning outcomes. So, to the men and women behind the success of this new curriculum design, thank you so much. Kayo talaga ang tunay na nagbigay ng pag-asa sa mga kabataang mag-aaral ng Lanuza. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, pag-asa sa Lanuza, umarangkada na.
Theme-based authentic assessment as a form of summative assessment is not only an assessment of learning, but an assessment of understanding. The measures of skills and competencies are far more than learning. It is how learners understand a concept and become proactive in creating tangible outputs and products. Moreover, thematic assessment achieves all the different levels of cognitive process dimensions of learning taxonomy, and when learners achieve such, holistic learning is attained, skills are assured, and competencies are mastered.
Good day, everyone. As a school head, I should say that Performance Assessment Guide for Authentic Students' Achievement or PAG-ASA is an initiative of Surigao del Sur Division worthy of emulation. This is one of the measures of Surigao del Sur Division to foster academic ease and help teachers and learners who are still adapting to the distance learning setup. The PAG-ASA output for our learners will capsulize all subjects in a quarter. Hence, academic ease is achieved, not compromising, of course, the competencies expected in a quarter per subject. Majority of the responses of the teachers, parents, and learners are positive to this initiative. May this initiative be emulated. Indeed, sa Surigao del Sur, ang performance tasks ay may pag-asa.
In the new normal, we are bound to take the challenge, and we are in this together. Let us create more innovative opportunities to give hope to our learners. As we forge toward PAG-ASA, let us all embrace together the value of education. All of us in the department have something to give. One for all para sa bata, and all for one para sa bayan.